Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the E-Report on our special segment, The Youth Wisdom. And joining us today for this segment is the beautiful, the talented Miss Ebad Carine. Thank you for joining us today, Anwi.
Thank you, Doris, and good evening.
Should I say you're looking stunning? Let's start from there.
Well, I like the fact that we are twinning. The whole
Actually,
pink and all whatnot.
when it came, I was like, okay, I think this is divinely, divinely oriented.
No, I think it's cool. I think it's cool.
Yeah. So we're so glad to have you with us today. And today we're going to talking a lot about what you do, which is a very, very interesting thing. So
I hope they don't
let me
ask
not
me
go
for
ahead
secrets.
of you. Let me let you tell us more about yourself.
Okay. Wow, wonderful question and very tricky
Yeah.
because I wear a lot of hats, so sometimes it's difficult to really narrow down what I do. But if I have to narrow it down, I would say I'm a screenwriter, I'm a filmmaker, and I'm a thespian.
Thespian. Can you break down that for me? People who have not heard that term before.
Well, I get that a lot. A thespian is someone who is a specialist in theater arts. So, as far as theater arts is concerned, I'm an actor, I'm a playwright, um, I'm, I can say a crew member because I've also been able to handle roles as a costume designer, as a set designer, light, camera, props. So as far as theater is concerned, I've literally been able
Very
to touch,
diverse.
yes, every part of it.
That's interesting. I like the fact that you mentioned that you have like different hats that you play. And just, I think it got me to the fact that most of the people I've had on the show, youths tend to have now mostly these very diverse things they're into, which is actually very nice. But also when we come to talk about it, means that you have to start peeling the orange. Back. Yeah,
Yeah.
peeling it back. So we're going, I think we should start from your filmmaking.
Yes, I knew you'd start there. I knew you'd start there. Okay.
That's the hard for me.
Okay.
So, how did you get into filmmaking?
Honestly, I've never really had this question asked
Oh,
to me.
should I say pleasure?
The question is, oh God, I don't want to reveal so much, but um, well, I spent most of my teenage years in church, and that was where I would say I got the whole call or vision of God for my life with regards to entertainment generally. And I was kind of ostracized in church because of that. So I would say that that was a spur of the moment for me to pursue this path, no matter how difficult or rocky or dark it may appear to be. So it started in 2019. I've been writing like my whole life. I've been reading and writing my whole life. I used to write scripts, books, generally stories, and not know that this is what it is until I started studying formally the whole art of filmmaking. So I would say it started in 2019 when I got to the university year one, 2019. So from that time, I officially started writing scripts and shooting. So the thing about filmmaking is when somebody says that he or she is a filmmaker, it means the person is a director or a producer. So in terms of directing, I would say that's why I say that I'm also a filmmaker because I've been able to direct a couple of projects, both independently and also working with a team. So I would say that the whole journey of filmmaking it started before I knew what it was, but I would say that I gave it a name and really identified it from 2019 till now. And I fully stepped into it professionally after I graduated in 2022. So it has always been a gamble of what to call it, what not to call it. Am I really it? The doubts and all whatnot. But every step of the way, I'm just grateful that God has been faithful and He has brought the right projects my way.
Yeah, that's lovely. I think most people look at filmmaking and as something that Christians cannot get into. And I think you mentioned the fact that when you got into it, you got somehow ostracized. So how has it been now, you deciding that despite this backlash from the church, you still are taking it? Do you think you have found some sort of purpose in filmmaking?
A wise man, that's a great question, by the way. A wise man said, do not put a full stop where God has put a comma. So I've learned, I, by the grace of God, I'm skilled with diverse things, right? Diverse abilities. And I've been able to live in such a way that I live each stage and each day according to how God purposes it in my heart or in my path, whether I can identify it at that point or not. So for me, it has, I can clearly say that I'm on the right track for now, but there are certain moments, there are certain points in my life that I just know that I know that there's something else that God has for me ahead. I really cannot put my finger on
Yeah.
it. You know, I don't know if you can,
No,
I cannot really
I can
explain it.
relate. I can relate. I
Honestly,
definitely
there are
can.
times when I speak with my younger brother, my younger cousin rather, I'm like, Malcolm, I just feel like there's something else. And because of that, one of the things that even scares me the most is the fact that I keep feeling, I don't have to depend on feeling, but I keep having this nudge in my spirit that along the way, it's like I'll be called into ministry. Now, I don't want to, I don't know, I was supposed to say this in front of the camera,
You're
but
running from the call, huh?
oh God. I don't want it. So low key, I kind of shy away. But I know that one way or another, God keeps causing the things that need to take me to the next level of His purpose for my life. He just keeps causing them to happen. So even when it seems as if I'm pulling away from that path, I find myself back on
Coming
the
back,
same
yeah,
track.
yeah.
So that's it. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, definitely. So it's like, even though you're in this now, you still feel like it's a calling that is on
Yes.
its way coming.
Yes. So I just believe that I'm just taking each day at a time. Every day is a miracle. Every day I just live it out the way God wants me to live it. I don't want to
That's
just
a
define, okay, this is it for the
very
rest of my life.
interesting statement. Every day is a miracle.
Yeah.
Every day is a miracle. Oh, keep that in note.
No, literally, God, literally every day is a middle of this month. I'm digressing a little bit. This is my testimony, right?
Yeah.
Middle of this month, I was on my way to work and I had a very fatal accident. Shockingly, nothing happened to me. I was on a bike, so the bike rider had to be carried. It was, for a moment, I just froze. I just froze. I could not really process what was going on. But I just kept celebrating my heart that this is the goodness of God.
It is.
So there is no way that what is happening now is the end of it. For some people, it is the end. I'm not saying that if you're a filmmaker, now that's it for you. But I just know that there's a higher purpose. Because what I believe filmmaking is for me is not just about entertaining people. It's revealing God through the art. It's making people to see God in another light. A lot of times when people say, okay, let's go to church, they're acting a drama, like, it's work. It's in church, what can they really do? It's really
Yeah.
interesting. So I just feel like me being in the film industry is another way of God using me to tell people about Him in that light. And the way I
amazing.
look at God, the perspective is really unconventional. So I feel like that's why, okay, truly, this is it.
I like it because I think at every point in time we are constantly in awe of what He is us to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, you being to filmmaking, did you have like maybe school? Did you get to school to learn certain things you're doing now with your craft?
Of course. Oh God, can I gloat? Let me gloat a little.
Go ahead.
So, I actually graduated top of my class. Oh, first class.
Oh,
Yes.
say it.
You
Say
know,
it again.
I always shy from saying it, but every time I say like, say it, do you think it's easy?
Please.
This is basically taking first in the university, Carrie. Say it.
Say it.
Okay, so so while I was in school, I was opportune to work with certain production houses. That was when I produced, sorry, not produced, I wrote, like officially wrote and co-directed my first short film, Taiwo. It's online. I know
What's the
saying
name?
it. Taiwo.
Taiwo.
Taiwo is actually a Nigerian name. So usually when the inspiration comes, I go and do research and then see how to make it fit. the context and the audience too. So that was in 2019. I had just gotten into university. So I was able to begin applying the things I'm learning in school in the field.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really love about myself is the fact that personally I love to learn, I love to research, especially when I'm passionate about something. So I don't just rely on what is taught in the classroom, because at the end of the day there will always still be limitations. We don't really have all the facilities that we want, but it does not stop us from learning or going further with the knowledge that we desire to have. So while I was in school, as much as I was studying in school, and it was mostly volunteer works. It's not like, okay,
Yeah.
pay me for this. Instead, I was just happy that something I had done was being put out there. I was just happy that I could like speak, like get my voice heard out there. So it was both a combination of school, personal research, personal studies. I used to shoot our class projects, write, shoot, direct, edit. So I had that from the classroom and also in the studio. And away from that, I'm watching movies generally to learn.
I think that's an integral part. Like, you have to watch a lot.
Oh God, there's no day. I don't go a day without watching movies, and it's everything. Because if you really want to learn, you cannot focus only on, let's say, I love Hollywood, but you cannot
Yeah.
focus only on
Only on
Hollywood.
Hollywood,
You know,
yeah.
there's Hollywood, Bollywood, Nollywood,
Collywood,
Nigeria,
yeah.
Collywood, Cameroon, of
Yeah.
course. Anyway, I feel like that conversation is coming ahead. Let's
Definitely.
leave it at that.
Okay, so before I go ahead, let's just do a little game, okay? So, like I said,
God.
they are different. They are different. It's Bollywood, Nollywood.
Okay.
Okay, so can you just tell us like your favorite types of films you like to watch, and from that tell us like maybe a particular film that has really like stuck with you over the years?
That's a difficult one. Okay. I love crime and investigation.
Ooh,
Yes.
I do too.
Jinx. Okay, so I love crime and investigation. It's not soppy per se. It keeps your mind working.
Yeah.
Keeps your mind. You're always thinking like, okay, what are the probabilities? What are the variables? Okay, let's take this out. Take this out. Okay, this is it. So I love that because it challenges the way I think, and then it also improves on my knowledge too.
Yeah.
I love crime and investigation. I love adventure. And then when I want to relax, maybe romantic comedy.
Ooh, romantic comedy. To be precise, like
Of course.
the comedy part.
Oh God. The romantic at heart. I love romantic comedy, and then I also love sci-fi. I love action.
Yeah.
So for a while, this is why I say it's difficult to really pinpoint, because there's a variety of movies that I love.
Yeah.
But the movie that I'll always watch and rewatch, there's Scorpion. Now that one is about a group of geniuses who they are government contractors, and the government uses them to catch criminals, and they
Interesting.
bring in a lot of calculations. It's just fascinating, honestly. There's that one, there's Scorpion, and then there's Suits. I don't know if you know Suits.
Yeah, I know about Suits.
I know I love Suits, and there's a recent favorite. Anyway, I watched this one because not because it's a trend, but because I'm a romantic at heart. I love Bridgerton.
Oh my God.
Okay,
I'm a fan. I am a fan of Bridgerton.
God.
I've watched every chapter. I think I've watched like every season twice.
Right? I love Bridgerton, and then I love, oh God, this guy, Cillian Murphy. I love him from Peaky Blinders.
Oh,
I
I'm
love.
yet to watch them, but I've watched so many
Please watch
shorts,
it.
like the maybe clips of it, and it's actually a very cool series.
Yes, it's a whole different perspective of looking at the mafia.
Wow.
Yes, it's really good. I would recommend it. Please watch Peaky Blinders. I love Peaky Blinders. But one of the movies I always fall back on, I grew up watching movies with my father and our family. So we have home movies that we always watch. So if there's anything, if I'm having a bad day, honestly, and I'm really not in the mood to like really deal with it, I fall back on home movies. And that's, we have The Mummy. I don't know if you know of The
yeah.
Mummy. Yes, I grew up watching The Mummy, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Like we literally converse in the house using dialogue lines from there. So it just makes everything beautiful and warm. and it feels like home.
So it's actually like the theater is also in the home. Like even in your home, you people have that somehow theater
Oh
vibe.
God, you have the highest drama queens and kings in my home. Yes, we do. We do. Right down to the grandkids. So,
Okay, so that's generally. Now let's go to the Kollywood like we talked about.
oh God. Okay.
Okay, as a Cameroonian into filmmaking, I think we have a lot of industries that are advanced, maybe music or otherwise, but many people are thinking that the film industry is something that is still has a lot to do. And someone like you who is into filmmaking, what do you say about the filmmaking industry? What are your stand on it, your perspective on it? Do you feel like it's increasing? Do you feel like there's still a lot that we have to do? And what is your favorite movie from
Okay,
Cameroon?
I cannot. Sorry, I'm not going to answer that.
I knew she was going to try and touch that question.
I'm not going to answer that because you'll put me in
You
trouble.
get in trouble. Okay, 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 okay. She'll
Okay.
tell me after.
But I do have directors that I love. In fact, one of them is my mentor, so obviously I'll call his name. Okay, with the Cameroonian film industry, first of all, I like the fact that Cameroonians are beginning to embrace the whole concept of entertainment generally. Now you can pass through the streets and you hear Cameroonian music in bars.
Yeah.
People stream them online. So I'm very proud of that. And talking about the Cameroonian film industry, I feel like a lot of work is being done in the background, and what we used to watch from yesteryears is getting better. If you compare the two, the difference is clear. I mean, Cameroonian movies even feature in the Oscars. That should say something about
That's a
us.
lot,
I'm
actually.
telling you that the Planters Plantation, I was, I was so proud. I almost cried. Not because I'm not even part of it, but I'm just happy that we have certain individuals who are getting to put Cameroon on the map, who are getting to
Yeah.
make it known. Okay, this is not something people are doing because they are just passionate or because they are hungry. We have God. It's we on a daily basis we hear very denigrative terms that they use to describe filmmakers in Cameroon. Sometimes you hear that filmmakers are beggars, they are idle people, don't know what to do with their lives. But I'm happy that the passion that filmmakers have is enough fuel to keep them going. Over the years, especially in recent times, a lot of producers have risen, and when you look at the work that they are doing, it shows that they have put in a lot of work. Any producer who is trending now, it will be difficult for you to hear that they did not start from somewhere. I think the most prominent person now is Ben Lilian, ML Production. She literally produces like almost every week or every 2 weeks. She keeps producing. That is a powerful feat. First of all, when you look at the whole work that goes into filmmaking, I'm telling you that for a normal person or someone who does not have a vision for what they are doing, you will break down. Because when you look at, first of all, you have the pre-production stage, before production, before post-production, and everything in between. It is really a tedious task. And then you see Beng Lilian, I'm using her as a reference because she's good. Yeah, she's good. When you see her producing and the things are good, when you look at her images, her pictures, it's on point. You know that, okay, she has done the work. She's putting in the money to make it look this good. But however, I believe that there's still much work to be done. You can never reach the final stage. You just have to keep getting better, right? Like that scripture that says, the light shines brighter and brighter until the perfect day.
Yeah.
So if we really want to like really make our mark on the globe, Nollywood now, I feel like Nollywood is really saying something. They have not just made a statement, they have left a mark, like
They have.
they have
They
a
have.
footprint in the world of entertainment generally. On some people, we have, anyway, some people have the guts to compare them with Hollywood. But I think that's because they have put in the work, right? I believe that if Cameroonians continue to put in the work, continue to collaborate too, because filmmaking is a
Yeah.
whole teamwork. It's not just one person that is involved, but you find that when you go to certain festivals or certain gatherings, you realize that there are certain cliques. That is not good for the industry, because when there is strife, creativity gets retarded. If somebody cannot think freely, if someone cannot really be vulnerable or speak freely, it will be difficult for them to be creative. It will be difficult for them to let their creative juices flow, to easily accept a particular muse or something. So I just feel that if Cameroonians continue to put in more work, continue to collaborate, because this is what Nigerians do to succeed. A Nigerian does not need to know so many people. They just need to put it online. Once they know this is our own, they don't care where you're from. They just support. But
Yeah.
it's difficult. With Cameroon, oh God. I read one time online that certain movie producers, they pay to have views. But if Cameroonians were supporting, they will not have to pay. And I'll not really blame them. I'm not saying that it is good or whatnot. Because when you produce, you put in money. You need to make the money. You need to have your returns at the end of the day. So if Cameroonians could support more, a lot of Cameroonians say, where can we watch Cameroonian? Okay, Cameroonian movies are available now on YouTube. At least go and watch. And when you watch, don't just criticize. Say something constructive. If something is bad or if you don't like something about it, give a proposed solution. It's
Yeah.
not enough to say this is bad. Okay, how do we solve it? You have identified the problem. How do we solve it? So if more Cameroonians got involved that way, I think it would be better. But a lot of people just want to be associated or to affiliate with success. When something is successful, everybody supports it. If it's not, everybody bashes it. And I think that is not really cool.
That is actually so true of Cameroonians. I think we have to all just take the L when it concerns that, because
Yup.
we are so good at supporting things once they have got. Can spoil like Libyanka. When she blew up, she was a Cameroonian.
Oh, God.
She
Girl.
became a Cameroonian. But a movie like, I think one movie also that when it got recognition, Fishman's Diary,
Yes.
it became a Cameroonian
Oh,
thing.
Ghana. He's even from people started fighting now. He's from this tribe.
Like
He's from
Francis,
this
Gabriel,
tribe.
like you start knowing that okay, this is a Cameroonian. Like, but I think when people are starting out, it's like, who are you? Get there first. Get there first.
Right.
I will get there with you.
Just develop a thick skin.
Yeah.
Honestly, just develop a thick skin, because that's how entertainment at every level. Somebody said every level introduces a new devil. So as you're getting to a new level, have this at the back of your mind and start preparing your weapons, preparing your backup, preparing your defense system, because they will never end. Till date, people still criticize Michael Jackson, who is dead.
True.
What more of you who
Very
is
true.
alive and you are not even as successful as that? So if you don't develop this thick skin at the end of the day, you will not make it.
All right, let's tone down the atmosphere a little. So
Sorry. Feel like I'm getting too personal.
no, actually it's cool, but let's go back. I'm going to get back there.
Okay.
Let's come back. So you being someone who has gone into the filmmaking industry, and I have seen some of the movies that you have done, and I have to say they are great.
Thank you.
I like whenever I watch something from Cameroonian mind, and then it perplexes me. Think, oh, a Cameroonian did this. Like, just like, oh my God, Cameroon has hope. So someone may be out there thinking, I too have always had the zeal to maybe do filmmaking, to want to get into the film industry, but they are discouraged. What would you like to say to somebody like that? How can they get into this industry, filmmaking?
Well, it starts with you. If you don't, if you have not set it in your heart to do it, you will not succeed, because there will be tough times. And also, when you set out, just put yourself out there. Filmmaking is the whole entertainment industry, right? Specifically, filmmaking is not easy to get in. You need to almost earn your way in it, but you have to be wise about it. For people who are just coming in now, I'm based in Boya, right? Because I school there. I school in UB. I'm based in Boya, and we have a community all over Cameroon. There are film communities. For Boya is Boya Film Community. So if someone is in Boya, I would advise that join a community, because, like for us, Boya Film Community, what we do is we organize trainings, workshops. When there is an audition or something, they always put it first in the group so that you have first-hand information about it. So it's not just about pursuing it. When people have opportunities for others to come in, they introduce it to these people who are passionate, these people who are genuine, who really have the heart for it. So if you keep staying at home, okay, I really love this. If you don't make a move, you cannot change the direction of an object that is static. You need to move. If you're moving, you can be directed now rightly. Let's say rightly, I don't want to say wrongly.
Yeah.
Hopefully you meet the right persons and you're directed in the right direction. Now, there are people who are starting out. You have established production houses, and you have some who have their own policies. For some people, they'll say, okay, pay before you join. If you need to pay like fiscal cash, please pay.
Pay.
First of all, knowledge that you gain for free, I don't think you really value it. The human nature generally, people tend to value what they pay for than what they just get for free, unless the individual involved is really grateful at heart. So if you have the opportunity to learn, please pay and learn. You may not use the knowledge now, but when the time is right, you find yourself regurgitating what you had learned. For us, now, a few of my friends and I, we actually own a studio, Sublime Studios. Now it's basically still online. What we do, we mostly work on projects together. We don't have a physical studio per se, but we have the work, we have the services, we have the capacity. If you have opportunities like that, join places. Because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, filmmaking is teamwork. You cannot do it alone. No matter how much you try, you burn out at the end of the day. And this is what I love personally about my group of friends, or let's say our studio, Sublime Studios. What we do is we don't just say, okay, this is what you're best at, stay there. No, we try to rotate so that if one of us experiences a burnout and maybe the creative juices are not flowing that much, we divert to the next person. So at the end of the day, we are always at the top of our game because there's no moment where it is low. So for someone who is starting out, put yourself out there, join a community, participate, be very present and involved. Join Boya Film Community. Yes, let me advertise.
Join Boya, go join Boya Film
Join
Community.
Boya Film Community. So,
all right. So now let's move into script writing. So you're a script writer.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, when we look at these movies and they are great and they are lovely, they started on paper.
of course.
It started in someone's mind, a person put them on paper, then they went down to the cameras and all the other things, but they have to put down paper. And that's a very important part of creating films and creating art. So you, as a script writer, does it get easier?
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, trust me, it does. It doesn't. But the process is worth it. You know, sometimes when I write, I catch myself smiling, I catch myself laughing, I catch myself being very upset and mad at the characters.
Are the
in
characters you're
story.
right? Yeah.
That's the thing, because a lot of people think that because you write the script, you have to be the god in it. Direct, okay, you must act this way. Okay, for example, I'm working on a script, right? Now, I was supposed to have finished it before the deadline, which is the end of this month. But when I started writing, usually before I want to write, I don't know if I'm going ahead, but before I write the script, I always outline it. I have a visual picture. Okay, after this is it. I just write short sentences to explain each scene. This is actually like a cheat code that I'm giving out. So that, because you cannot avoid writer's block. It's part, if you're imagine you're writing a feature, you're writing something that's like 60 minutes. Or somebody said, right, let it be 90 minutes. Those are 90 pages. 90 scenes. If you are following the industry standards, that means one page is 1 minute. One page is 1 minute. One page is 1 minute, which is one scene. So those are 90 different scenes. So you cannot really rely on, okay, let me just write as a spirit, as a spirit leads. Trust me. Yeah. Even the best of the best. In fact, the best of the best do the outlining. It's better that you have something on the ground and then you add on it. So usually when I'm writing, a lot of people, they just jump into writing. They don't have this whole outline laid out. One of the issues per se that I had with this script is I felt like I kept fighting with the characters. So there was this day. I woke up, my peak moments to write is very early in the morning. It's quiet and calm. Everything is fresh. I was writing and I was frowning. I know I was frowning as I was writing. My friend was like, but why are you frowning? It's too early to frown. What is going on? I said, I feel like I'm fighting with this character. I'll frown and then I'll just huff and just get really mad. It's like I'm fighting with these characters. She said, but fighting how? I don't understand. I said, I've really put an outline here, but when I want to go, the characters want to go somewhere else. I don't know what to do. I said, just follow them now. Just follow them. So as a screenwriter, honestly, it does not get easy because some producers or some people contact you to write a script for them. They don't give a full synopsis. You have to write something that has to last for, let me give you an example. Something that has to last for 1 hour, 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Those are 90 pages. And they come and say, write a story about, God, this is an example. It's not like somebody said this particular thing to me. Come and say, write a story about a girl wanted to be a lawyer, but she had challenges and it did not work. After she has lost her leg, she now became a lawyer at the end of the day. That is not a synopsis.
And you're like, what is the story? Where is the
Oh,
story?
God. I spoke with one lady recently. She gave, God, it was ridiculous. I'm sorry, any she will not know.
She don't know. There are many ladies.
Please, can I cut this part? Okay. So she said, I want a very good script. Like, this is it. She did not give details. I just want to be really, good, right? I said, of course. She gave it and then gave a very flimsy something. When I came down, I said, okay, I've listened to your voice note. You want a film that's supposed to be 90 minutes, you send a voice note of like 1 minute, 30 seconds. I said, first of all, what do you want to tell? What is the story about? This is why certain stages in life is very necessary to pick out the lessons in it. Look at kindergartens, right? The child come and say, I want to say my story. What's your story? My story is about John and Mary, that. They have given a topic sentence.
Yeah.
Basic English. But this one, there's no topic sentence. You just give something in your head and you expect someone to develop a 3-act structure from it. And then you want to underpay. Is it fair?
That's the insult. That's the injury to insult.
Yeah. So I would say it doesn't get better, it doesn't get easier, but it gets more interesting and more entertaining. To be honest, there are days that I go over scripts that I've written and I laugh and I entertain myself with them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, no, let's change this. Okay, let's change this. It gets really interesting. And then some people really have interesting stories that they want you to tell. And that is why there are gigs, let me call them gigs. There are gigs I've taken for stories that are really good, but the people don't pay well. But because I love the story, it's a kind of story that people should hear about. Yeah. So I'm like, so is it because of money that this does not go out? So I still take them. There are times that what I do is I proofread. Like, it's not every time, okay, it has to be money. No, you can't. I would say I'm starting out. People have been in this business for like 50 years. Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration. Some people have been there for 25 years plus. And I'm not sure they're looking at the monetary gain before they stayed in it. Instead, those people, I'm not even sure they really read from their work then. I feel like it's some of us who are coming to enjoy on the foundations that the other people have laid years. So for me, it's not really about the money, but it's about the story and how it will affect the person who watches it. I watched a review recently by, Viola Davis, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love that woman.
Okay. She said, your purpose is not what you do. Your purpose is how people feel after you have done what you do.
Yeah.
So if at the end of this interview, right, somebody gets blessed, let me use it like that, somebody gets blessed, somebody gets transformed, something changes or sparks up in somebody's life, you have fulfilled purpose in that person's life. So it's not always, okay, let me do this, let me do that, a lot of people are just waiting for the next high, the next thing to conquer. Say, okay, yes. No, I don't think that's that.
So every day you can fulfill purpose.
Of course.
Every day you're fulfilling purpose.
Of course, every day you can.
I like when you're talking about the process in like writing scripts where you can get mad at your characters, because I have a friend where she also wrote stories, like fictional stories.
Okay.
And it was fascinating to watch her write. I think for like 2 days in school, we were back home, sitting there just talking about her characters. And she's telling me, this character is very annoying. I can't wait for him to die. I'm like, you're the person writing this thing. Kill him, you know? Yeah, but I think it made me realize that when you're the writer, sometimes there are certain rules that even you yourself have to walk by, that you are not the
Yes,
god of it.
of
So
course.
maybe you as a screenwriter right now, scriptwriter, what are certain maybe things you put in play that are very crucial in your script writing?
Okay. Now, before when let me say when I take a gig from a client, I have a lot of questions that I ask. I ask about the story, about the characters in the story. I try to build the word of the story with them before I expound on it. So you cannot just say, okay, the story is about a lawyer who is trying to defend his client. Who is a lawyer? What is his background? Give me his demographics. How old is he? Is he dark skinned? Is he light skinned? Is he does he have gray hair? Is he tall, short? Because a lot of those things. Who are his parents? What is his drive?
Yeah.
Those things make up an individual. For example, when I look at you now, Doris, it's not just you. You have a family. These people don't know about it, but we're talking about something before we started, right?
Yeah.
Those people that had to send that thing, those are the people that make up your family. To an extent, they have contributed to the way you process things in life, the way you look at life, your perspective generally.
Yeah.
So if we don't have that, you cannot have a rounded character. That's why when you watch certain movies, it's like this person is wicked all through. Those are flat characters. From point A, they're like this. Point B, they're still like this. But when you want to have an interesting character, the person should move like this. So
They
there's
have to
always
have,
that arc.
yeah.
There should be a transformation, something. Otherwise, it will be boring. If, let's say, for example, we're in the studio now and I have to pass this phone to you, just to give me the phone and I just pass it. Oh, I'm advertising my phone, but it's okay. If I just pass the phone to you, take the phone. Now it's
So,
boring. They're always,
yeah.
okay, what next? Is that I should take it and start checking? But if I had to give the phone to you and then it starts to ring, I'm like, oh, sorry, something has come up. You start thinking, who is
Oh,
calling?
yeah.
So
That
create
draws attention,
that is
yeah.
it. Create an incident, right? So if you want, so for me, what I do is I build the word of the story. I always, sometimes I get so annoying when I ask so many questions, but it's because I want to deliver the best of the best. I ask, who is this character? So by the time I finish doing the finding, sometimes they don't even, some clients don't even have a title for their stories. Some of them don't know the principal themes that they want to be in their story. They just have this idea. Some people, it's so it's not ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Somebody will be like, the Holy Spirit gave me this. Don't change.
I'm trying not to laugh, but
Those are the most difficult people to work with. I'm like, excuse you, I literally have the Holy Spirit in me. So it's not like I'm trying to change what God came down and gave you. I just want to make it better.
no, just say, go and tell him to tell me too, so we can have a better understanding.
Right? God I actually rejected one job like that because honestly the story was nonsense. It was not good at all. And then I had to edit it. I'm coming back to your question, right?
No.
When I work on somebody's project, I don't just do it word for word. I don't just because you have given this. I first of all look at ways that both of us can make it better.
Yeah.
Because to an extent, I would like to believe that I understand how the industry is. I understand that if you put this at a festival, it has a higher chance than if you put this other one. Then what is the essence of putting something out that is literally the same like every other thing? What's the change? What's the twist in it? Right? So for me, I always ask questions to know and understand everything better. And then I do the whole outlining. I make sure I do the whole outlining. And then to get down to specifics, it's very necessary that each scene has, you should have a beat sheet. Now a beat, B-E-A-T, a beat is a change in emotion in the story. So when you take a script and you're reading, maybe people are quarreling or there's a fight at a particular point, and then later on you see beats, then another conversation continues. It means that that emotion is not the same emotion that transcends to that part. So just like we said that for each character, there should be that journey like this. It comes down to the scenes and the way you can easily develop an interesting scene is if you should have a beat sheet. It's like prose, introduction, body, conclusion.
Yeah.
So everything falls down like that. So I try as much as possible to have a beat sheet also. So we started with questions, we went down to outlining, have a beat sheet, and then ask for the deadline.
Very important.
I ask for the deadline. I always try as much as possible to ask for the deadline. And when I finish with a script, especially when I finish way before the deadline, I keep it and don't touch it. After like a week, if I have a lot of time, I go over it again.
Yeah.
Then you can identify the things that don't sound right. Somebody, imagine if we are talking now and we are writing a story about this, and then my characters are saying thee, thou, or start speaking very certain terminologies that do not apply to my everyday life as a filmmaker. It will not make sense.
Yeah.
So when you come back, you start having those details and make research. Do a lot of research, because what you put out there is information that people will read, people will watch, people will listen to. And if you give out wrong information, it's out already. That's why I love crime and investigation, because there are certain things you learn from there that you can apply to your everyday life. But imagine, what if they give out wrong information in those movies? At the end of the day, you're walking around with wrong information, thinking it's right. So make sure you do a lot of research, because your pen is very powerful. Very, very powerful.
Okay, so I know that when it concerns things are arts, maybe you're a painter, a musician, there's always a point where you have, like, you can call writer's block,
Yes.
right? You don't know the song to do, all of that, you're trying to paint. So how does that look like with script writing? Like, how do you, when you reach that point that maybe you're stuck, how do you get the creative juices flowing back again?
Okay, now I think it is it's subjective to every individual. The way I'll deal with writer's block may not be the same way that you write, right? Maybe it
Yeah,
may
I
not be
do.
the same way that you deal with writer's block. For me, when I have writer's block, I just shut down everything. A lot of people say take a walk. I really prefer staying on indoors. So if I have writer's block, I literally forget about it and watch movies. Not because I want to learn, not because I want to get it back. Let me get it back. No. I watch it to entertain myself and distract. In fact, I try as much as possible to forget about it at all. Whether it's film, usually it's film. Film, food. Yes, you cannot watch a movie now without snacks. So film and food or snacks. And then if I'm in Boya, usually I actually go for a walk. I surf the internet. I don't try to go and look for something that how to overcome writer's block. When it comes, you know that it comes.
Yeah.
See, it is like you're vomiting words on it, and then you see the pictures clearly. There are sometimes that I force it, especially when I want to work with a deadline.
Yeah,
But
sure.
I don't just finish and just send. I ask for an extension, because I want to go over everything, proofread it, make sure that I'm taking off the typos, make sure that I'm rearranging the dialogues and all whatnot, the scene descriptions, everything like that. But I don't go and say, okay, I have writer's block. What do they do when you have No, I don't do that. I just forget about it. When it comes, and it always comes.
It always
It always
comes.
comes.
That's quite interesting.
I think we are going to pause the discussion here a little bit, and then we'll take a few comments that the guys have been saying up on the listing.
Okay.
Oh, oh wow.
As we have like Njabo Emmanuel, who says, Ace, you are looking splendid.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
She is
Yes.
actually.
We
Yeah.
have Ambang Ebad, who says you are the best. I guess like related.
Oh God, that's my brother. Thank you, Sam.
Njabo Emmanuel again says, nah, this is safe. The entire clan is watching. Huh?
Oh wow. By the way, that's my family.
Your
Shout out.
army is there, apparently.
Oh God, the food that kept me going during times that it was tough. I always
Yeah.
fall back to that.
So we have Victoria Brown, who says it's the romantic at heart for me.
Vicky! That's my friend. Shout out to Victoire. By the way, Victoire is half Cameroonian, half Ghanaian. I always say this. She does not want that to say,
there's,
but I have a foreign friend.
YS Nina Riches, who says go girl. With
Thank you.
eyes, loving eyes, many.
The emoji is very important. You have to get the feeling.
Add it.
The emojis are very important. There's Leslie Menka who says, "Oh my God, amazing knowledge. This is literally paid for, and it is free on this channel. I'm following. Hoping to see you again, Miss Karen."
Thank you for the
Thank
follow.
you, thank you, Liz. Thank you.
There's Victorine Browns who come again to say it's like you become a small god, creating characters and watching them live, and
Word.
trying not to end some of them.
That right there is a
See?
writer. She understands it.
Oh yeah, Victorine Brown again says, "I collapsed at the Holy Spirit."
People is the spirit of a lot of things.
See, they use it to subdue whatever you want to see.
Just make the authority a little bit higher
I'm telling
sometimes,
you,
I feel.
God.
Anyways, just to remind our viewers that you can write your questions or comments in the comment section, and if there are
Yeah.
questions that our guest can answer, she
Oh
can.
God. Okay.
Well, one question from me though is, how would you define being a success in the movie industry in Cameroon?
Being is, first of all, success. I define things as concepts. Success for one person, I believe, is different from another person. There's someone who believes that being successful means having your house, your car, your one wife, you go to church every Sunday, you come back, you go to your job,
That's
9 to 5.
peaceful.
For someone, that's success. For another person, success is traveling the world. From one region, like from one hotel to another, just living free. So for me, I'll define success in the Cameroonian industry as the ability to tell the kind of stories that you want to tell and have them being produced. Now, there are people who have the money, but they don't know how to write. The people have the money, they have the people, but they don't have the person to give them what to produce. Most of those people easily influence the stories that some scriptwriters write. Now, a Christian, let me give this example. A Christian who is a screenwriter, right, in the film industry in Cameroon, may want to write a story that does not have, can I say kissing on air?
Feel free.
Okay, that does not have scenes like that, right? But because the producer calls the shots,
Yeah.
he's like, okay, no, put it there. I want it to be there. There's a movie we worked on. I don't want to call the name. Now, the initial script had it. The original script had it. But when it had those kinds of scenes, now the director is a Christian. And it happened that in the course of the production, he became one of the EPs, executive producers. So he was able to influence those parts from being removed. And that's the funny thing. It not really changed anything in the story.
Yeah.
Sometimes some of these scenes are not necessary in developing the plot of the story.
I've seen that too. Yeah, that's very true.
So our term success as a screenwriter, that was the question, right? Success as a screenwriter is being able to tell the kind of stories that you want to tell and have them being produced. Which brings me to this other thing. Now, as a screenwriter, if you're just starting, if you know that that is not your only source of income, get something else and add to it. Now, there are a lot of skills that you can learn online to be able to support the other aspect of your life or the other part of your life. I think it's Steve Harvey said, get a job to fund the dream. The dream is to be a screenwriter. And you cannot really fund the dream now. You cannot fund your lifestyle because you're depending only on it. Get something else to be doing. When you're free, when you have the time, or if you can squeeze out extra time, you can now focus on what you're passionate about. And in due time, you yield fruits. At the end of the day, I believe that it has to do with consistency. So I don't know if that answers your question. Do you want to be a screenwriter? Because you're asking really personal. Yeah.
All right. So if we're getting back, can we get back to this question? All right. We talked about, I think where you ended talking about maybe beating up writer's block. But another aspect, I'll say, because I write too, another thing is the environment you create when you're writing.
Yes.
I personally like to play a particular sound
Oh.
over and over again. Just off the
Okay.
lights all, just for computer. So what is like your environment like? What environments do you find very calming for when you're writing?
I just love quietness. Even sounds influence the way I write. So I never, instead what I use sounds for is when I want to edit, if I want to edit a movie, right? I use sounds to edit different scenes. Now, let me give an example with our final year project, right? I was the one who edited it. When we're developing in the whole pre-production process, when we're working on it, I knew that we wanted the film to have a theme song. I wanted each character to have a signatory sound to or represent them in it. So when I edit scenes like that, I'm like, okay, I need something sad to get me to feel what they
Yeah,
feel, so
yeah,
that I,
that's
I
true.
do the right cut in it. But when I'm writing, I I don't think I've ever used a sound to influence it. It's because when I speak, or even when somebody speaks to me, I see the things in images. Like if you describe something, I literally see the person doing the action and things like that. So when I have external sound clouding that, it makes it difficult for me to pen it out the way I see it in my mind's eye, right? That works for you, which is very okay. And this is what works for me. That is why I love the early hours of the morning. If I could influence, if I could add any sound, it would be natural sound. Maybe birds, but the whole idea of having to switch something on to get into that, no, I don't really do it like that.
Okay, that's amazing. I think that shows us that when it comes to art in general, everybody has a way
Yes,
that they deal with like creation, creating their
yes,
art.
I do.
Okay, let's talk more on you theater arts now. Let's go into
Yes,
theater
of
arts.
course.
First,
Of course.
have you ever been in a play like when you were younger in school? Where is that person that maybe got into plays?
Oh God, I've always been an introvert.
Um,
God, a very chronic one. But I've also always been a dancer. So for someone who does not talk a lot, the only visible action I do, if it's not being excellent during exam, is being a great dancer. Because it's like that thing, it's like a whole different person out there. Then when I finish, I just get back to my
like
show.
we're doing a lot on many things here,
Oh God.
apparently. Apparently.
So but I kind of stopped it because I needed to put on weight. I was too skinny. So
Maybe I
I'm
should.
not body shaming anybody. Please, I'm not. Everybody is beautiful. But I just needed to take a break from it. That is why you can see a lot of flesh on my body. Yeah. So that was it for me.
So you now get into theater arts. When I hear about theater arts, I know it's very different from being like in a movie. It's not this definitely the same thing. So how does theater arts differentiate, or how is it different from maybe filmmaking? What's the difference between the two?
First of all, theater is the mother of arts. The whole live performance in front of a live audience is from there that you have filmmaking, everything coming from it. Everything is a branch cut out from theater. You have comedians who perform, that is also part of theater. You have musicians who perform, that is also theater. So for us, or for me, when I talk about theater, let me use the stage, right? Stage acting. It's Theater is very difficult compared to film. Now with film, when you're shooting a movie, you have the opportunity to do a lot of takes. The actor is talking, why did you not, okay, let me give this very bad example. Say, why did you not went there? The director say, cut,
Cut.
that is wrong,
Say it,
right?
yeah, do it again.
Let's do it again. Why did you not go there? What's the reason? But with theater, once you have made them, you have made it.
Yeah, really life.
In front of everybody, so you don't have second chances. And then with now with a script, let me use a film script and a theater script, right? Film script, we always advise that you should make the dialogues at least at most 3 sentences, so that it's not bulky. For example, I've spoken now. These are breaks, breaks, breaks. You hardly hear me come and sit and I'm delivering an entire speech.
Like a
So,
monologue,
ladies and
mostly.
gentlemen, for today we are talking about you speak. No, it's not. It does not apply in real life. But with theater, first of all, you have limited scene changes. If this is a stage, everything happens here. So you see an actor who has to memorize an entire A4 page of dialogue lines to give. Some is monologues. Sometimes it could be a soliloquy. You know soliloquy, right? It could be a soliloquy. Then imagine when it has to be a conversation between two people, like 3 pages on stage. When I say pages, right?
Back and forth.
It
back
is
and
it
forth.
is recto vecto. God, those are a lot of lines. I would always appreciate and celebrate theater actors everywhere. You give that to a film actor, it may take a while for them to grasp it. I remember one time we're on set, we're filming a teen series, and there was this guy, they just came and added like 2 pages of dialogue lines for everybody. It had to be a debate. It was really tough. And this guy he could not get it. He had spent like the entire previous day getting the few lines. Then they came and they added an entire page. Guess what? They gave me the role. Because now my theater background gave me an upper hand over him. The guy gave it and he said, okay, let's change the setting. It was like 5 minutes. By the time they came back, I had everything. They said, okay, let's roll the camera. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I delivered. The guy was like, he could not hate me because even he saw that they could not help the situation.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, at every point, it's just that theater actors tend to overdo it because they say with theater, exaggerate. You have people at the back. If you just say, what is wrong? What is happening? Or I'm upset. Nobody will say it. You need to act that you are angry for the people at the back. So with theater acting, it's more lively. But when you make the mistakes, people always make mistakes, right? When you make the mistakes, just go with the flow. It's good that you have very good co-actors who understand you and they go also with the flow. Because if you happen to be acting with someone who is very wicked, if you miss your lines, they'll look at you and everybody will know you've missed your cue. So there are a lot of things that come into play with theater. You're working with the lights, you're working with the sound, you're working with your co-actor. You need to concentrate because there are certain lines that they say, okay, the director can say, be at center. Center is literally at the center of the stage. Deliver this line at the center because they have set the light to fall on your face in this kind of way to give this mood to the audience. So imagine that you miss that kind of a cue. So a lot of things come into play. But with an actor, you just need to sit like the Godfather and deliver your life. By the way, the Godfather is like, oh God, it's like the manual of films that every filmmaker should watch. Like they always refer everybody to the Godfather. So at the end of the day, film actors don't really have it difficult to an extent compared to theater actors. But there are certain film actors who go the extra mile and they get into characters that they cannot come out of. And some of them die. Like this guy who acted God, what is that film? Harley Quinn and can you help me mention it?
Joker.
The Joker.
Yeah.
That guy who did the first one. You know he died, right?
Oh, he passed away.
He passed. He could not get out of the character. Now the media said that he overdosed. But it's because of the there is this thing when actors are preparing, right, for a performance, film or theater. Now we call it method acting. Method acting is you literally becoming the character. A lot of times when actors want to act, they want to look pretty. But there are certain actors whom, if they know that this character has to puke, like it is really nasty and all whatnot, they don't just puke. They internalize, that's how we call it. Now they go to a certain memory or a certain experience or something they had seen.
Disgusting.
That was disgusting. So they puke for real. There's some people that if they want to act out sadness or depression, they go to moments like
Place
that
of
in
trauma
their life.
and
Thank
take it
you.
up.
So it's dangerous because the moment you act, it's difficult to leave. You stay in it. That's why some people they lose their minds after they perform. This thing happened to me in 2023. We had just returned from performing right in South Africa. Now I'd won the Goethe Institute Goethe Découvert, right? Theater performance, that was my category. When we had to play, now my character was a lead character, and that character has a lot of emotional baggage and trauma. So every time it opened with the heaviness was there. Every time we had to open the play, and at every point I went, there's a particular memory that I kept collecting from
Using to act that
using
character.
to act that character. So when we finally had to perform, it was in Yaoundé at Goethe Institute. I just went and borrowed. It was bad. I was in the first scene, the second scene, the third. When I finished the first scene, I went backstage. I could not stop crying. I kept crying and crying. The director came. Thank God that the person who had to do the next scene with me, the person had to be on stage first. I don't know if they communicated with him, but I took a while before going back because I could not stop crying. The guy said, it's okay. That's why you should have a very good director. Seriously, have a good director, have a team that understands you. You see the ideal theater troupe. Since we're talking about theater, right? Let me speak about my theater troupe. That's my family. So there are certain rituals in quotes that we do that help you to fully understand certain aspects of certain characters. So at every point in time, they work with us at every stage in it. So at this particular point, when that thing happened, it was easy for the director to pick, okay, this is it. Mm-hmm. So it was fast. I don't know how we did it. I just want to believe that it's a whole teamwork and the whole teamwork experience that was going on play. That was in play rather at that point. By the time we felt like, it's okay, I just went and we continued, rolled until, and in the end, it came again while I was on stage. That is why they always say, especially for theater actors, it is risky. It's good. Yes, it's good. You can use it to do a very excellent performance, but the repercussions, you're the one who gets to live with it at the end of the day. There's one of my friends, Tiafak, there was a play that he was in, and Palm One must flow. Bole Botake, if I'm not mistaken. He had to play the role of a masquerade. That guy got into that character like 10 to 15 minutes after the play. He could not speak real words. He kept making the sounds. I really wish you could interview him. He kept making the sounds of a juju, of a masquerade. Until his body started trembling. God, it was risky. Like when he finally came to himself, he was like, I'm never taking that role again. I'm never taking that role. This is somebody who gives his all when he's performing. He's the one in the manual. The landlord who kept yelling.
Oh yeah.
Yes. He's the one. I actually got him to shave his hair because of that role. So some people that I've met people who have literally given in their all. Right? And you look at it like, this is real. Of course it is real. They transfer the energy even when you're on stage. So at the end of the day, I cannot speak without talking about theater because theater is like the foundation and the base for me.
Wow. I think with everything you're saying now, the only thing I can ask myself is, how are we not hearing such stories more in Cameroon?
Right.
How are such stories not being said out? Like, when we are looking at the film industry, theater industry in Cameroon, we don't know that such things actually are out there.
Oh, they do.
People who are giving their all into getting out these sort of performances. And I hope that maybe we'll have more of people like that on this show. Definitely. Because I'm just really perplexed at how, I think at this point I have to give an apology to the film industry and everybody that is working their butt off to somehow get the film industry to a particular point in Cameroon, because you can see that people are actually putting the work.
People are putting in the work.
And that leads me to ask myself, where is the gap? Because I feel like if the work is being done to this point, how is it not reaching the audience? Because Cameroonians also have a point. They say that they are not seeing. Because I have at a point I've been like, okay, let me go online and find Cameroonian movies. Let me try, like you're trying to support. Yeah. And you find very few online, or it's very difficult for algorithm to suggest that to you. So I don't know, how do you think there's any way that can be remedied, per se?
Well, you know that the way the algorithm works, the algorithm will generate cookies based on what you have been watching and following. So it will be difficult for you to just get up and say, okay, let me just watch Cameroon, and immediately everything surfaces. It just give you time. That is why when we are on programs like this or shows like this, we try as much as possible to give the names of YouTube channels of Cameroonians. right? So people can easily follow up. There's a show, Michelle knows about it. We put out Cameroonian contents, Cameroonian movies, the links and everything, so you can access those kinds of things. Another thing too is I feel like to an extent Cameroonians are unfair towards movie producers or directors, because it's unfair to compare Cameroon, that has been doing film for like, let's say 50 years, to Nigeria that has been doing movies for like 350 years.
They are godfathers in this.
I'm serious. You get my point,
Yeah,
right?
I do.
So you have to compare someone who is literally a baby and this thing, and with someone who is already an adult.
It's not, Papa.
The equation is not equating. Right? So it's kind of unfair. But Cameroonians should just try to cut Cameroonian filmmakers some slack. As much as you criticize, give suggestions, right? And then support. I believe that if people go on YouTube, the more you search, the more you will see some of these movies. And now some Cameroonians too. So Cameroonians produce movies, and some people produce movies with the intention to give it out at festivals. Because at festivals, even if you don't win an award, it's easy to get a sponsor. It's easy to get a platform. Just imagine that Fisherman's Diary was placed on YouTube before it got the financial rewards that it got. You know that it's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, it is.
If they had put it on YouTube before, Netflix would not have had. They
Yeah.
would not have bought it because it's already accessible to everybody. Where's the market? People already know it. So why am I buying it again?
that's
What
true.
makes it exclusive, right? So there are a lot of Cameroonian producers those who have connections like that, they prefer to work the money first, have their returns before they make it accessible to everybody online. So people should just keep searching, and people should put their ears out there. From time to time, you hear that there are movie premieres. Attend movie premieres. Get to connect with people. That's how you know that these things are online. YouTube, now, I'm not sure anybody will go on YouTube. I don't see a Cameroonian movie. If I should recommend a particular channel, let me use M&L, right? Sorry, ML, Benglidian Production. There are so many movies there. You have SK Production, SK Brunhilda Productions. You have now the Stephanie Tum. The Stephanie Tum TV. There is this cute girl, Cindy Emade. Cindy
Oh, I've
Emade
heard
has it.
about her,
You see, she has a channel. At least before you want to go to the people that you're like, okay, who are they? Get to the names that you know, at least start from there. Because the moment you start watching, the algorithm starts to generate cookies now to suggest that, okay, this is the kind of content you want. We are bringing more. Oh, and of course, very soon we'll be posting our movies on Sublime Studios.
You should really watch out for this particular movies because I've seen snippets. Okay, I'm not going to give any spoilers.
Please don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, no, but trust me, you want to check this out. You want to check this out. I think it's what changed my mind, because I think I was looking into the little snippets that I could get, and I was like, it's impossible. This is from Cameroon. This is not made in Cameroon. Like, you know, let me see something good. They're like, I'm not sure this is Cameroon. I'm not really sure. So definitely go check out that once it drops. I think it can give us a little like what are you expecting? What are the ones that are dropping soon?
Okay, so we are still building our fan base and social media presence. That's a funny thing because everybody in this particular group are just a bunch of introverts that keep to ourselves. And we love making movies and we love making good movies. But now we are looking at expanding, at putting it out there. So now we have a schedule for it. Currently we have a short film that we finished. It should be like 43 minutes. So long, Chris. Well, we are co-producing with BMAC TV. BMAC TV is owned by Crystal Beauty, the Crystal Beauty Show. So that one will be dropping soon. We'll first of all have private screenings before we put them online, right? But once we start putting them online, it will be a continuous flow. I cannot really give specific details now because of the work that is going on in the background, and I'll be preaching a particular contract.
Oh, there's contract.
Yes.
But now I guess people can start by joining and following the social media.
Yeah,
So please
Sublime
tell them what to
Studios.
go and where to go and check. What are the different social media accounts that they have to go and follow, and stay support Cameroon, like I was saying.
Of course. Okay, on YouTube, well, not on YouTube, since we're talking about Cameroonian movies, right? You can watch, you can follow ML Production. There is Black Home Entertainment. There is T-Benz Entertainment. There is SK Brunhilda TV. There is Stephanie Tom TV. There is Cindy Made. There's Sublime Studios also. So you can just follow that while you're anticipating. And trust me, you really want to stay tuned. 2023 we did a web series, Konji and Love. Konji and Love so far was nominated at the Douala series. Yes, it got nominated there. To think that was like our official first project. You don't just get nominated for Douala series. There's a lot of scrutiny that goes into play. So the fact that we're even able to be nominated, that was really like, okay, this is encouraging. That means this is good.
Yeah.
This is good. This is good. So people should just stay tuned because it's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be lit.
Yeah, definitely there's a lot to look up to. So, guys, you've heard it already. Go and follow Sublime. Please go and follow Sublime. Support Cameroon work. Support this beautiful lady. And her superb team that is watching.
Alright, so
Yes.
let's just take a few last comments from here. We had apparently it's as if Njabu Emmanuel are watching on a big screen because
Oh wow.
Njabu Emmanuel comes and the comment is this: "This is a bad victory." Auntie Karine, Auntie Karine, I love your dress and your hairdo. So beautiful.
Did I say I'm a cool aunt? I'm a cool aunt.
And her favorite aunt kind of.
Oh God, that aunt who asked like she gave birth to the kids. That's me. Big thank you.
And then again,
Thank you.
Miss Karen, what would you say is or are the basic relevant skills to succeed during a movie audition?
Who asked that?
That's a great
That's
question.
from Jabo Emmanuel.
Oh wow. To succeed at a movie audition, one of the first things that they ask from every actor, I feel like everybody's like, okay, what do we do? Okay. As an actor, if really one of the things that gives you an upper hand compared to others is the fact that you have a monologue. Because the first thing is not everybody can really conduct an audition. There are times that you go for an audition and it's always advisable that if you have to audition somebody, get a character from the story, from the script that they want to perform. But sometimes actors will go, okay, if this happens, how would you react? If this, I don't really think that is it. But as an actor, if you want to have an upper hand, prepare a monologue. Because at the end of the day, after they have asked you to do whatever they want you to do, it's okay, what do you have for us? That sets you apart. And that's one cartouche per se that just puts you ahead of everybody else. There was one very ridiculous and bad audition I just sat at. I was not part of it. I was not part of the jury. But it's funny that someone comes for an audition and they ask them, do you have a monologue for us? They say, what is a monologue?
Wow.
What are you doing there? You have not even done the work.
Yeah.
That is the problem. And that's why a lot of times you see some people say actors are dumb because they don't put in the work. This is why I love Hollywood. When they see someone is a psychiatrist, they don't just rely on the scripts. They do enough background checks. If it means them staying with someone who is a psychiatrist, they do it. They do the
They
work.
actually get the training for the part.
Thank you very much. So as an actor, if you really want to get a role, I don't say if you really want to get a role, because directors or cast directors know what they are looking for. They are looking for a particular height, a particular countenance, a particular shape, size,
Yeah, a lot of
skin
things.
tone, a lot of things. But away from all of those things that you cannot control, have a monologue ready and be flexible to do any action. And please, don't carry a gown. They are going for an audition. What if they tell you to spin? Will you spin it? Will you spin it? It's just like theater. You never go for rehearsal without wearing pants, trousers. Let me just clarify it. If I was telling somebody that those are your pants, let's say pants, trousers. Please make sure you have pants on so that you can be flexible. If you need to jog, you need to run. If you need to do something that you need to really spread your body, you'll be free to do that. So I think that covers for it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Is there any other comment?
Oh yeah, and there was Victoria was just giving her name Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger. I think that's the name of the guy who acted
Yes.
the Joker. Who
Yes.
subsequently died.
Thank you, Vic. Of course. Thank you.
Right. I think that is all we have
The
for
cover
now.
is very amazing.
Yeah, and anybody who is watching, please don't forget to like the
Like,
video.
Yes,
the
please
video.
like
Subscribe.
and yes, subscribe and
Share.
share. Please subscribe and share.
So I believe that's that first particular interview. You
Oh.
have been amazing. So amazing and pretty. Can we just say that? So I'm very, very happy to have you here. Hopefully, we're going to have you here again next time when all the other short films, all the projects you have in store are being
Yeah.
released. So we can talk more and more about them.
Yes.
But thank you for being part of the show. And for those of you watching, please start supporting Cameroon film industry.
Please do.
I've
Please
repented
do.
too. I repented too. Let's go out, let's support our own. Let's go like their pages, subscribe, follow them, try to be more in tune with what the country is producing. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, Next Generation Media channel. Bring you the best of our guests every week, like we have done today.
I'm honored. Thank you, Doris.
Thank you so much for being here. And guys, see you next time, next week, our next guest. Bye.
Yeah, before we even want to go away, we want to remind people that we should know how to say it, but there's the waiting page. They should go on the waiting page and they're going to have everything about Cameroonian movies and Cameroonian
Can I just say
news
it?
and
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Let me
and
hype
put
it. So,
Spice it up.
in addition to being a screenwriter, a filmmaker, and a thespian, I'm also a co-host for a podcast, YouTube channel titled Witty, whatever this is. So we give reviews, we give reactions, and we basically present entertainment through our perspective, through our eyes to you. So for every movie we talk about, we drop a link to the movie. We'll start releasing this May. So let's get the drums rolling. And of course, when you follow Wetty page, you have all the updates about the latest Cameroonian movies. The ones that will make you cry, the ones that will make you laugh, the ones that will make you really proud,
Angry.
and the ones that will make you upset. But trust me, all of them are really good. So please follow Wetty and stay updated.
On that note, are we clear? Bye, guys.